So the land-based equivalent of cruising is basically RVing, right? But some people will cross-country in motorcycles. They'll do like multi-country, multi-continent motorcycle tours around the world. We just met somebody yesterday who is doing the same thing, but basically on the water. He is doing a jet ski tour around the world. And as crazy as it sounds, this is something he's been working up towards for 18 years. He's already crossed the Atlantic once. He's doing it again, and he's going to cross the Pacific in a jet ski. When you're out here doing this, there's just always something different and something random and interesting. We went to he pulled in yesterday. He's a guy, Alvaro, from Spain. And he pulled in on his jet ski yesterday. He had a little reception of people applauding or whatever, and he gave a little talk. It was mostly in Spanish, so Jessica and Kelsey didn't know anything he was saying. But I asked him if he wanted to talk real quick before he leaves today. He's leaving soon, and he's going to show us his boat and tell us kind of a little bit about what he's doing from the boat point of view, because it's super interesting. You got to give somebody credit who's going out there and pushing 30-hour days on a jet ski. It's hard. It's like a really rough dinghy ride all day long. Let's go meet Alvaro and see a little bit about what he's about. You like that little boat, Kira? Is that a Kira-sized boat? A little boat probably has more horsepower than our whole boat.
I think I've heard of like a guy crossing an ocean in a jet ski before on the news or something.
Probably. All right, so we're here with Alvaro, and this is his barco, his boat. It's really, really interesting. Thanks for taking the time to show us kind of what you're doing. It's amazing. I think it's
a demanding kind of navigation. I'm standing up all the time. Yeah. 100% of the time. It's the only way, to break your spine. To avoid and to absorb the shocks of the ocean, and also for the skin. Otherwise, if you sit, your skin would be totally ruined. 2 days. I used to navigate like 10-12 hours per day. I tried to dance with the ocean. I just navigate at the speed the ocean allows. I find my way, as in sailing. You have to find your little path in the ocean. Right. The good thing about this little boat is that you're very close to the water. And that allows you to experience the ocean in a unique way. Of course, it's cold, that's the main issue. Scary, very lonely, but very beautiful. At the ocean, sailing along on such a small boat, you feel in a very unique way the presence of the Creator, of God, because you're so weak that you are absolutely surrounded by truth. This is a custom-made kind of a little boat. I've got some navigation systems, mainly GPS, built-in GPS and navigation lights, a radio, powerful radio built in as well. And this is not designed for what I do, of course. So what I do is I try to adapt it to the extreme navigation conditions I'm going to face. Otherwise, it's a normal
large fuel.
Water scooter. Yeah. The main thing is this big box, which is got 140 liters of fuel. That would give me, with the 70 liters I've got in the front, a 220 nautical miles range in total, which allows me to navigate without any support boat, other than the Atlantic Ocean that I had a support boat. It was the only bit I would have a support boat along the world. So yeah, in 220 miles, I try to find my way to find gas, supplies, food, water. Of course, here's very nice because everything is here, but there is places where there's nothing, and I have to go inland with people that will help me to find supplies and to carry on. Average speed is 18 knots with a good sea condition, but it all depends on how many plastic I find and get in my intake.
Right. That's a pretty common problem?
It's a common problem, it's an issue. There is a lot of nets, a lot of rubbish in the ocean, as you know.
Your journey right now is you're traveling around the world.
I'm traveling along the world, celebrating the 5th centennial of the very first circumnavigation ever organized, ever achieved. That was 500 years ago. The King of Spain, Charles I, organized an expedition with 239 sailors on board 5 boats, departed the 10th of August, 1519. Only one boat called Victoria and 18 sailors made it 3 years later, 1522. Magellan was the commander, the first commander, famous Magellan, all the way from Seville, from Spain to Philippines, where he died, and from Philippines all the way back to Spain was commanded by Juan Sebastián Elcano.
It's interesting. It's almost like, so you're doing it like in honor or remembrance of it, but you're doing it almost the antithesis with one person, one boat, very minimalistic.
Absolutely. I'm following their watermark, especially in the dates, in the historical dates. Not exactly the same route. What I'm doing is a bit more miles. I will cross the Pacific from Alaska to Russia. So I'll go up all American continent and then all of all Kamchatka, Russia, Japan. And I'm honoring the values and principles of these heroes 500 years ago that would risk it all. These people were very, very inspiring for me because with little knowledge, they had big motivation, and that's exactly what we need. We sailors, we like to be out there because we know risking means discovering and experiencing the truth and nature.
What you're doing is inspiring, and anytime somebody gets off the couch and goes outside and actually steps on, even if it's just a small mom and grandpa and grandpa who get out and they sail to the Caribbean, they step outside their comfort zone, they have new experience and see the other side of the real world. It's huge, and I'm hoping that in the future, with the technology and the media, it's becoming more accessible, I guess is what I'm getting to. And you don't need 5 ships and 236 sailors. This is a little bit extreme, but there's a middle ground that is becoming more accessible, and the more people see the world, hopefully, we can get a new perspective that's maybe lost.
That's a very good point, and the more we get to know our oceans, the more we will know about our world and about nature and about respecting and love our little planet, where 70% is water. Of course, the biggest enemy to discover is fear. And fear is logical, fear is natural, and fear is important. It's the only way to be aware that you are good in your brain. But fear is something we have to face and try to conquer. Fear cannot stop us. Not only in the water, also in life, in any activity. Fear is good to recognize, but it's much better to fight.
When you're out there, what do you feel like is the biggest challenge when you're out there? The physical or the mental?
It's both. I mean, mental is much more important, but it's very physical. I mean, traveling 12, 14, 8, depends, from 8 to 24 hours non-stop on my feet there. It's demanding from a physical point of view, but mentally is the most important because your brain, your soul commands always.
Yeah, you don't have somebody to take ships with, take watches, and it's all you in your head all day long.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there other motivation? Is there a message you want to do, or like what started this? Just for you, the exhilaration, and it turned into more, or did you start with something else?
Well, this is a passion since I was 18 years old. That's already a long time ago. It's like 40 years ago that I started with this kind of experiences. And always on board the same kind of craft, always with the same name, Numancia, who carries the name of this Iberian town which resisted the Roman invasion 22 centuries ago back in Spain. And the main reason is to experience an amazing experience,
To live your life.
Absolutely. Of course, there's plenty of other motivations, other reasons to risk it all. Mainly celebrate other discoveries, other challenges carried out by our ancestors 500 years ago, 400 years ago, 300 years ago. And also promote values and principles. I like to give lectures, as the one I gave here yesterday night, and I like to share the principles I believe, the principles of respecting God, the God not only through the religion, but the God, the Creator we experience through our feelings in the ocean and also in any activity on land. I like to promote the values of being courageous enough not to betray yourself with lies, with alcohol abuse, with all these horrors that takes our freedom out, which steal our truth. It's no time in life to lie. We have to live in an honorable way, especially with ourselves. In any activity, the ocean doesn't allow lie.
It's like a filter.
Beautiful, exactly. And that's what I try to show to myself and to others. Possessing things is nice, but difference between having, possessing, and being. We have to try to be a be person, be experiencing things. I'm an entrepreneur, I work a lot back in Europe, but I always take 1 month, 2 months from my time. Instead of buying a drawing or another car, no, I don't want nothing anymore at all, I mean not ever, but I like to buy time to experience the truth.
Right.
And this little craft allows me to experience the truth and to be very close to the Creator.
That's awesome. I know you got to get the looper on, and we got to prep our boat to leave, so I don't want to hold you up anymore. It's just I'm just really curious to talk to you and share with our audience. We're all people who are like, a lot of them are finding the motivation to get out there and do it themselves, you know. And it's if you can do it this, you can do it in a cruising yacht. I think.
All right. Hope to see you. I hope to see you around.
Yeah. Keep an eye. I'll post some of your social media stuff on the video. If that's fine. And if you're curious, you can watch him go because he's doing this. He's out there. You know, he's not talking the talk. He's walking the walk. So thank you so much. I'll let you to it. Thanks for taking time out of your morning.
Thanks a lot.
It's like the water version of backpacking.
It really is.